My first class right after my TEFL course, it was nothing as I imagined. So in this video, I'm gonna share my first day of teaching in Thailand right after my TEFL course. Hey, it's Sandy, and I've been teaching ESL in Thailand for almost 4 years now, and I have taught in 3 different government schools from grade 1 all the way to grade 12. But let me take you back to the beginning. So I just had finished my TEFL course and I had 6 teacher trainings in a real classroom, and the lesson was smooth, the feedbacks are okay, and then I was so ready to teach in a classroom. Then I applied for a job. I got one, luckily, and it was the first day of my first classroom in Bangkok, and then I walked into the classroom. I could see around 30 to 40 students with different English levels. There was no orientation from school, no real welcome, just a book handed to me, and then they asked me to go teach. You're ready to go. At that very moment, I was humbled by the reality. Like, my teaching delusion didn't survive day 1. Okay, so my first day of school. On the first day, I had 4 periods. I walked into the first class of my entire teaching career. And it was so exciting. And I look at the class. There were 30 to 40 students with different English levels. I greeted them. There was no response at all. Just big stares, no smiles, no response. Just big stares. And I greeted them again. I tried to ask them silly questions, no response again. I felt like I was an alien or something in that classroom. Then suddenly the leader stood up and say something like, "Stand up, class." Then the whole class stood up and then greeted me. It was the first thing that made me confused for the first time, because I didn't know how it works. The second period of the day was a little bit better for me, because now I know the leader had to stand up and say something, then the whole class greeted. I couldn't communicate well with all of the students in the class. That's when I realized some classes do not understand English at all. By the third period, it was online class. Everybody joined, but nobody opened their cameras. Even though I kept on reminding them to open their cameras, nobody did. So I was literally talking to the screen the whole period. Later, I learned that there's a thing in Thailand that nobody would open their camera if it is online class because they are shy. Yes. Then came the last class. Honestly, didn't like English language. I'm sorry, I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say this or not, but there are some classes in every school where they do not like the language to learn at all. I call them challenging classes. It was one of them. I entered the classroom, they were talking to their friends. I tried to greet them, and nothing. They were playing around, they didn't care at all. I stare at them. It means I am giving time to calm down, but nothing changed. So after 5 minutes, I just left. I had enough for the day. I was so done with teaching on the first day. Honestly, so scared to go to the class again. So yeah, that was the first day of real teaching in Thailand for me. Imagine having this feeling at the end of the week. But don't worry, I was just unlucky to have all of those classes in one single day. The second day was actually much better than the first day, and even now, when I think about my first day, I get cold sweats. And I'm not here to scare you at all. I'm here to share some of the cultural things that you only learned after being in a real classroom. So yes, the first day can be terrible, especially if you're a young teacher. I was only 22 back then, but trust me, it gets better, and then you learn manage different classrooms. Back then, I thought my TEFL course had everything I needed to know for a real classroom, but you never know. You never know what kind of students you are teaching, the language barriers or the unexpected moments. That's where you learned real things. Honestly, there's where my learning started. In my next video, I'm going to share you some of the things that you can only get from a real classroom. I wish I knew earlier, so that you can walk into the classroom more confidently. See you next time.